ceremony at the Vatican, a double canonisation of two former popes. While hundreds of thousands of pilgrims are expected to attend the historic event in St. Peter's Square, which will see the former popes become saints. The Vatican is planning extensive coverage of the event in both old and new media. Our team in Rome finds out how the Catholic Church is getting its message across in the 21st century.
This is no ordinary Italian classroom. It's LUMSA, a private Catholic university in Rome. These students have developed the first ever virtual communication campaign on the Catholic Church's latest canonizations. 22-year-old Giulia Mulogna and her classmate Anna Zizzi have been involved in the project since its inception.
The two of us are mostly in charge of the Facebook page, but we're also in touch with those who work on Instagram, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube so that we don't overlap in our Facebook posts. We update the page every day with a new topic that we've chosen.
6 social networks in 5 different languages. It's a veritable media blitz by the Vatican that doesn't just explain the event to the world, but also hits the refresh button for the Catholic Church.
Obviously, being young, we grew up with social networks and we know how to make them work. For example, how to get more likes, when's the right time to share a video.
Father Stefano Cascio is behind this project. For him, the challenge is to attract a new generation of worshippers.
Our goal is to reach those between 15 and 30 years old, those who use social networks, to make them aware of these popes. As we progressed, we came up with more ideas.
And it seems to be working. This video got over 20,000 hits in 2 days. It's a way for young people to remember John Paul II, who died in 2005.
John Paul II's the one we know, the one who is closest to us. He was the Pope who was closest to young people. He imparted a lot of different emotions. And then he died not too long ago, so we remember him as the Pope of the young people.
More than an orchestrated media event, this double canonization has been a clever political maneuver by Pope Francis.
Pope Francis had a stroke of genius by deciding to canonize 2 different personalities who are also complementary to the Church. John XXIII is loved by reformers. John Paul II is loved by conservatives. With this double canonization, these 2 trends in the Church are reconciled.
The life of Pope John Paul II in music. This is another way to reach out to the devout through a mix of faith and showbiz. Backstage at this Vatican-sponsored musical, there's Cardinal Karol Wojtyla. Well, almost. Actor Vigilio Brancaccio plays Cardinal Wojtyla. That's Pope John Paul II's name before he became pontiff. Brancaccio rediscovered the Polish Pope through this role.
I discovered this dual aspect of his character as a leader, that he was both charismatic and also pure and sweet.
John Paul II's official photographer, Arturo Mari, had rare access to the former pontiff. Mari followed him on over 100 trips abroad.
My great fortune is that for 20 years I lived only 1.5 meters away from a saint. For this I am happy, and it's great to share this celebration with everyone. But for me, at a personal level, he's already in paradise as a saint.
From personal recollections to book presentations, the Church has transformed this double canonization into a global event.
Communication is very important for a large event like this because it's stimulating. It prompts devotion to get to know these 2 great historical figures.
The path to sainthood for these 2 men is also unprecedented. Only 1 miracle is attributed to John XXIII instead of the 2 required. As for John Paul II, his canonization has been fast-tracked.
John Paul II's speedy canonization in a record time of 9 years is probably due in part to the shock of his death. Emotionally, it was a shock for Catholics, and for the Church here and for the cardinals. It was a shock that led to Benedict XVI's opening the canonization process, quite exceptionally, just a few months after.
Preparations are underway for this exceptional event. 61 officials and at least 800,000 pilgrims are expected to attend the ceremony that will see John the 23rd and John Paul II added to the long list of saints in the Catholic Church.
Well, time now for a look at sports, beginning with the latest in football.
Benfica edged past Juventus 2-1 in the first leg of their Europa League semi-final.